Welcome back to the Black Summit. I'm Brooks.
I'm Hendrix.
And we are glad to be back with you guys here today. We got a lot to talk about. There's we're gonna be getting into Drake versus Kendrick. There's a lot of stories that we kind of missed. It was kind of because I was in Vegas, but also I've been working a bunch. So you
should have did the podcast in Vegas.
I know, man. You should have came out there. What you doing, man? We could have had a good time.
Back here teaching class.
Yeah. Could have had a good time. No Diddy. So today we're going to be talking about Kendrick versus Drake. We're going to get into O.J. Simpson.
The juice.
The juice is loose. We're going to be talking about that. And then we're also going to be talking about Katelin Clark. She's been it's almost been almost like a religious figure.
Yeah, she's been a pillar for the WNBA for sure.
For the college basketball. Basketball.
Well, college basketball and then going into WNBA, correct. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, for women's college basketball, but for college basketball just in general. I mean, I think those ratings wouldn't have been so high if people weren't watching the women's. And so, I mean, for the men, they weren't. The men's have been kind of boring to me the last few years. So
yeah, college basketball, the championship, the men might have did maybe 9 million.
Yeah,
the women did double that, 18.6 million, something crazy like that.
Exactly, it's just not the same without her being there. So we'll be getting into that.
Yeah,
but first we're gonna talk about this Drake beef. With it's Drake against the whole entire rap community right now. A lot of people are calling it 20 versus 1.
What's up with OVO? What's up with your boy? Well, is he going starting trash because he light skinned? What's going on?
I don't know, man. I think from the beginning, if you really look at Drake's rise, people have seemed very jealous of him.
He has a lot of haters.
I think it has a lot to do with the fact that he ain't from America. He's from Canada, right? And a lot of these rappers are, from here. I mean, a lot of them, they came really from nothing. A lot of them, have, engaged in crime and stuff like that. So they came from the streets. And so I think a lot of them look at him in a different way as a rapper. And, the fact that he's like a singer rapper, a lot of people felt like that was soft. And
some people say he don't write.
Well, a lot of people say he don't write his
own
stuff.
Write some. He probably have a lot of ghostwriters. I don't know.
But I feel like a lot of people from the beginning have come at him. The second that he started to become like the best, because, full disclosure, I am a Drake fan.
We know.
Since he's become the best, I mean, you have people like DMX going at him. Oh, I hate everything about him. That's like real hate.
But when
you come in and you say, "Oh, I don't know what it is. I just hate everything about him."
I got a rebuttal. on that.
Go for that.
DMX did say that, but then DMX did come back.
Yeah, later.
Later and said, "Man, Drake came to him and said, yo, man, I grew up when we were raised," and he himself said, "How can I hate on someone? Dang, I can't even hear myself. You hating on me now."
Go ahead.
He said, "How can I hate on someone who showed me so much love?" So he recanted on.
Yeah, but that was later.
It was later. Once he actually met him.
But I'm just saying that just in general, like nobody has been able to really accept him, and so I think that's where a lot of this beef comes out of. I think I do. Let me go ahead and go into some of this.
Yeah,
all right. So for those who don't know, Kendrick actually initiated this beef. This beef has been going on for a while, right? But Kendrick actually initiated it this time with a diss. And I'm just going to go ahead and play that, and then we'll talk about it right after this.
Motherfuck the big three. Nigga, it's just big me. Nigga, boom.
All right. He said, fuck the big three. And a lot of people, he said some other stuff inside of the song. most people have already heard it, but that's just a little taste of what he came out and said. And ever since then, it's been like this pile on Drake. A lot of people have been going against him. And a lot of people thought that, J. Cole was going to stand by Drake, because at that point it's only him, really, because everybody's been going at him. Metro Boomin, all these other people have been going at him. And so Drake, like Drake does, like we've seen from years past, like with his beef with McMill and some of these other people, he clapped back. And so he came out with his diss track, and he basically came at Kendrick. He came at everybody, Rick Ross, some of those people. And it was received pretty well.
Do you have the track?
I do have a version of the track. Let me see. All right, so that's some of it. And most people have heard it. If you haven't, just, type it in, check it out. And so that's basically his clap back at him. And he went at a bunch of people. He went at Metro Booming. He went at like multiple different rappers or whatever. But that was his main diss, was towards Kendrick. And so, but listen, he had to do everybody, because everybody seemingly is against him. I mean, even like Future right now is against him. And he said something about Future too inside of the diss. But yeah, so this is where we stand right now. After Drake put that out, Rick Ross came out with his, diss track. And to me, it wasn't that great. But listen, again, full disclosure, I'm a Drake fan. But basically, he called Drake a white boy. He also said that Drake had a nose job. And so a lot of people were like looking that up and trying to look at old pictures and analyze all of that. And so, yeah, that's basically where it stands. My thoughts on this, again, I think Drake is the GOAT, because Drake, since 2009, he has been at the top of the game. Okay? Listen, all these rappers, a bunch of rappers have come and gone since he's been there. And for most rappers, they don't stay at the top of the game, at least. I'm talking about staying at the top of the game for, it's now what? What is that? 15 years? Nobody has ever been on a run like this before. You can look at all the rap history. I'm talking about being at the top of the game, where you're just selling, you have tons of streams, or you're selling out records for 15 years. Nobody has had a run like this. And I mean, for me, it's not even close when you analyze him versus Kendrick, because Kendrick comes out with the album every 5 years. And it's like, of course it's going to be received well, because you take forever to put out some new music. And for me, it's like, I kind of had to get into a mood to listen to Kendrick Lamar's music.
He might want to put out, quality over quantity.
Yeah, true. But here's the thing. Drake is not only putting out multiple, not only, is he put out way more albums than Kendrick, but he does like 2 or 3 in a year. I mean, like, it's not even close. And so my thing is this: Kendrick, he puts out an album every like 5 years. It's very performative. And his music, I feel like I have to get into a mood to listen to. When I'm listening to Drake, I can put on Drake when I'm at the gym. I can put on Drake when I'm trying to party. I can put on Drake when I'm trying to just like chill. Like, just, I'm talking about just sitting back, just reminiscing or whatever. Cause that's what his music's about. A lot of it. But I mean, like, you can put on his music for any kind of occasion. Kendrick is like, it's very performative. It's very like, he puts these little sound bites. It's got, Tupac in there, and it's got like these little things in there. And so it makes people feel like, oh man, this is amazing. We ain't never heard anything like this before. And it's like, bro, people have been doing that for years. But a lot of the younger people, a lot of them aren't used to that style. But also the older people, they can relate to that style. His fans that are older, they can relate to that style because that's kind of where it came from, you know, like the old school rap, you know. But listen, he needs to put out way more albums for me to come close to Drake. He needs to do way more sales for me to say he comes close to Drake. I mean, Drake has been at the top of the game again for 15 years. Just think about that.
So you think they?
I mean, even Eminem, like who is to me is above Kendrick. Eminem's above Kendrick. Who else would I put above Kendrick? I put Nas above Kendrick. I'll put Tupac. I'll put Biggie above Kendrick. I'll put who else? Like, to me, before you come close to where Drake is, you got to be at a certain level.
So why you think they coming at Drake? Why? Because he's Canadian?
Again, because he's a Canadian boy. And
you think so?
Yeah, that's why they want to. Oh, he's a white boy.
They didn't come at Justin Bieber.
It's
He's
like,
Canadian.
bro,
he was on everybody's track. And he's
like,
to hang with all the brothers.
Bro, there's a lot of black rappers who are mixed.
But they didn't come at Justin Bieber. He Canadian. And he fully white.
Well, that's different. Justin Bieber isn't like a rapper.
But still.
But if he ever tried to be like a rapper, listen,
he was hanging with all those rappers that one time.
You see how they treat M, right? Nobody wants to say that M is even like in the top 5. Like there's that famous video of like, you know, Lil Wayne basically saying M ain't in the top 5 and you got all these other people. It's like, yeah, you know, like, by the way, Wayne is above Kendrick to me. So, but, you know, listen, a lot of people, hey, y'all have y'all fun with this beef. I don't know what do you think about all this?
I think it's pointless, really. I mean, well, put it like this. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
As hip hop started off, and I mean, as long as you keep it on wax, you know. And I don't see neither one of those dudes taking it to the streets and nothing like that, because I don't think neither one of them do it. They're not really street dudes like that. You know, it's about lyricism and things like that. But
a lot of people will probably disagree with you and probably say that Kendrick is a little street.
Well, why? Because he's from Compton?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
No, I saw I saw a documentary on Kendrick, and he was saying, yeah, I grew up with this part. He wasn't a blood, to my knowledge. He said he wasn't a blood. He wasn't a Crip, neither one.
He affects people in a certain way.
Yeah, and they show him a lot of love. But
yeah,
in some ways, you know, I guess it's healthy. It's, you know, good for hip hop. You know, for them to battle, and everyone gonna have their opinion. You know, me personally, I like both rappers. I like J. Cole a little better. You know, I can really vibe with J. Cole. You know, I like Kendrick too. Drake, I like Drake, but you know, I wasn't into him like everybody. He had some bangers he did have that I like. Because at first I couldn't get into some of the ballads, you know, because I'm used to my rappers rapping, not really singing, you know. But then maybe he don't define himself as just a rapper. He maybe say he's just an entertainer, meaning he sang and he rap. You know, and if he got ghostwriters or whatever, hey, that's all good. Because I'm pretty sure even if he probably write some things. You know, I'm sure they probably collab and write some things. I mean, singers have writers, so you know. But like you said, rap from the streets to a true MC, which they say some people are not true MCs anymore, come from freestyling. You spitting your own lyrics, you know, about your hood or about yourself, your people, from where you come from, you know. So, but I mean, I think this can be healthy, a good thing for hip hop. You know, everybody talking about it. It's all the buzz right now, and so
yeah, a lot of people are saying, and these are conspiracy theories on like YouTube and TikTok, so it's not like a credible thing.
What are they saying?
But they're saying that this is a made up beef to save hip hop. Because, you know, hip hop is starting to lose their like market share.
That's the biggest music.
It was. It's no longer.
What is the biggest music?
Latin music.
No. You got to show me some stats.
No. This is not me.
No.
This is not me.
I know it's not you, but you got to pull up some stats.
Well, you can look it up. Look it up on your phone. Look it up on your phone. This is not me saying that. Latin music has overtaken hip hop. Yeah, and not only that, they're saying that country is about to take over too. So it's between Latin music and country, and this is like a ploy to save rap or trap music. Really, that's what a lot of this music is nowadays, which, you know, I think a lot of people are just tired of the sound of some of this music that's coming out.
They're saying the biggest genre
But-
is pop, which
Okay,
all
pop.
that means is popular.
Yeah,
Hip hop is
But-
pretty much pop music now.
yeah, but I've heard multiple studies that have come out and is talking about, you know, how Latin music is taken over. And so, and not only that, country has been one of, you know, at the top of the charts. And so, yeah, I just think it's all interesting that, you know, those, they're kind of like conspiracy theory ones, you know, but
Wait a minute.
a lot of people are saying that that's like a thing.
It says, I don't know. Something says, according to Statista, hip hop was the most consumed genre in the United
Was.
States in 2019, in 2019, accounting for 27.7% total music consumption. In 20, hip hop became the most popular genre in America for the first time, surpassing rock.
Yeah, but
So-
keep going.
What else they got?
That article must be old.
The most popular genre: U.S. rock and indie country music and pop music.
Because I
Okay,
looked up on
okay. What is the number one genre of music? According to Statista, most recent numbers, hip hop was the most streamed genre of music in the U.S. in 2021. While these numbers may change from year to year, one thing remains clear: hip hop is one of the most popular genres in the worldwide. So they didn't say it was Latin or country,
Yeah.
because Latin music doesn't trend.
You got to find the one that's from this year. That's old.
How you know that's old?
Because it says 2021. We're not in
In
20. That was 3 years ago.
But dude, look. It says, okay, in the world genre, January 29, 2024.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's the whole. It says in 21, while these numbers may change from year to year, one thing remains clear: hip hop is one of the most popular genres in the world. January 29,
it's saying
2024.
hip hop is. We already know that. Your nephew, my nephew, can tell me that.
Isn't that what you said? What would you just say? You said Latin was the most popular in the world.
All I'm
Didn't you
saying
say
is that, yeah, but that's just saying that that's one of the most. That's like saying LeBron is one of the greatest.
But it's
we didn't
not
say he was
saying
the
that
greatest.
Latin is the most popular in the world.
No, yeah. I mean, listen.
Think-
okay,
dude,
people
this is
people
what
can
I'm
do their
saying.
own research.
No.
Go ahead.
This is what I'm saying. Hip hop transcend, right? When 50 Cent first come up with in the club, in his very first, he said, I was in Africa and some with villages, and they had his image up on, and they 50 Cent, they couldn't speak English, but they were saying lyrics, right? Not Latin music. No, just
Bro,
to
you
Latin
can't
music.
compare it to
No, dude, I'm
yesteryear.
telling you how it
50 cents is
transcends.
yesteryear.
Bruh, you talking about, I'm just talking about the music as a whole, how it
no doubt.
moves across cultures.
No doubt. I'm not going to disagree with
You
any
know,
of that. All I'm
in
saying is
London,
that it ain't
in
number one no more.
Japan. Oh my gosh, dude.
It's not number one
Hold
no
on,
more.
let me see.
That's
Okay,
all I'm
let's
saying.
see.
I didn't
You
say
said-
that it wasn't number two.
You said Latin music
I
is
didn't
number
say-
one in the world.
Go ahead and look into
Okay,
it.
let me find. Let me ask.
I just said Latin music surpassed it. But I mean, listen, you can. You're talking about 50 Cent, which respectfully, that was 20 years ago.
But
when he was at the literally 20
that's-
years ago. When
That's
he was at the
still
top
part
of
of
the
the
game.
culture.
I know. I'm just saying that now, you know, hip hop was undisputed, and now it's lost a little bit of its steam. You don't have to listen to me. Go listen to the people. They have more. They can articulate it better than what I'm articulating. it.
Okay.
So-
Hold on. All right, I just pulled this up. When I say I'm talking about Google.
Okay, go ahead.
According to Variety, Latin music is the 5th largest major genre in the United States, with R&B at the top, followed by hip hop, pop, rock, and country. However, In 2018, hip hop was the leading genre with 21 West
Right.
Go again album consumptions, while Latin music had 9.4% share. But Latin is
Okay,
the
I was
fifth
wrong.
most
I was wrong
popular.
on fifth most popular,
Yeah.
but hip hop is not number one. Who's number one?
Okay, let me see. The
Wait,
most popular.
what's on that? They just said it, didn't they? They
They
said
said
they're
that,
doing a top 5 on that article.
The top five, they said according to Variety, Latin music is fifth largest.
Okay,
in the genre.
fifth. So who's 4?
They never
who's
said. They
3?
said well, United States with R&B at the top,
Okay, so R&B.
followed by hip hop,
Okay.
rock, and country.
So R&B is number 1.
R&B is number one, then
Okay.
hip hop,
All right.
then rock.
I'm just saying that rap has lost its, because it was number 1, like they say in that article.
was.
In 2018, it was number 1. So that's all I'm saying. And multiple people have said that, and now they feel like it's losing its share.
But it just amazes me how innovative black people are. How something come from the slums, literally from the slum, the ghetto, people who deprived, and they created their own music, of course, from the beats through sampling, right? Because it started with the DJ. It started with the DJs in the park, right? Then the MCs came on, which is, for some people who don't know, I'm gonna go old school. MC, you know what MC means, right? Master of ceremony, right? So it started with them rapping about about the DJ, tell it how good I am. So then they started the art of freestyle and rhyming, right? From the slums. And I remember when my mom was like, I was talking about, man, this music came out in the 80s. I said, Mom, check this out. And she said, boy, that ain't nothing but some fast talking over some James Brown. And which they use a lot of the funky drummer beats.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how that just transcends throughout the world.
Yeah.
That started here, London, Japan, Africa, even some Afro beats influenced by that, and some Latins, and the Caribbeans, everywhere, man. That to me, that's just amazing in itself.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's great. I mean, no, I love that. That was
He's
great.
like, yeah, no, that's great. But back to country.
Okay, so who is better, Drake or Kendrick? Gun to your head, what would you say? And then we'll move on.
Better?
Yeah.
I like them the same.
Okay.
Really, to me.
Okay.
But you say Drake do put out more music.
And
right?
it's more variety, man.
I can
listen to that shit at the gym.
Did you like Kendrick's album? What it was, the Hot Steppers? That's what it was called. The last one.
I didn't really like the last one,
You
and
know
I
what I mean?
liked his other one. And I'm not against Kendrick. I actually listen to Kendrick. I like his music. I mean, some of his songs are some of my favorite songs.
But
like,
you
of
know
all
what?
time.
Know what I think it is? I think I get what you're saying. It seems like Kendrick could put out a little bit more conscious type rap.
Yeah.
That's not really a party-like vibe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's probably going to take a while to process either. But Drake put out, Kiki, do you love me? So I think he put out a little bit more party. Because I never really heard Drake put out anything like conscious per se.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, that's my
listen,
take.
Everybody calls him mainstream and all this.
He is
other
very
stuff.
mainstream. Drake is pop.
He is. He's
pop.
He's super popular, right?
He's pop, yeah.
I think for me, again, Kendrick's stuff is too performative. Like I have to sit there and like get in a certain type of mood to listen to. And his last album to me was very like he just doubled down on his performative style. And a lot of people are just like, "Oh, that's the greatest. That's the greatest." Yeah. It's like I can't even put him above Nas or some of these other people.
It's two different styles.
Let alone put him above somebody who's been at the top of the game for 15, probably gonna be 16 years. Not that I'm not saying that Drake's music's been great because he puts out dud albums too. Like that, the dance one. I didn't really like that one. I mean, I can agree with that, but if we're talking about who's GOAT status right now, you put out 3 or 4 albums and you want to be called the GOAT versus somebody who's put out 21 and has sold out every time, it's got the most streams. Like the only person to me that could step to him right now is M in terms of streams. And so in terms of streams and sales and stuff like that.
So like, that's why Drake is the GOAT to you, because he consistently puts out music.
Not only that, man.
Okay.
People have come come at him every single time, and to me, he's won these battles.
So you think he won that battle with Pusha T?
No, I know a lot of people say he lost, but to me, ultimately, he won.
So yeah, because you said you're disclaimer.
I'm a little
you're biased. You're a Drake fan.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
we
two
gotta
reasons
move
why you
on
like
to-
him, because he put out a lot of stuff and you like his style.
I've also just followed his rise. Like I've always.
So you used to watch Degrassi?
No, I didn't watch Degrassi.
You said
I
you
ain't that.
follow his
I ain't that kind of a fan. To me, I remember when he was first coming out. To tell you the truth, and we got to move on, but Lil Wayne was my favorite rapper.
Really?
Yeah, and that was right when he had his moment, and Lil Wayne started to fall off.
What? Oh my God, that's blasphemy.
No, it's not.
Lil Wayne is better than Drake, bro.
I know. Yeah, listen,
Wayne
go for it.
Drake.
He definitely had the second greatest moment in hip hop history, to me. But I'm just saying that the Carter, what was it, Carter 5? No, Carter 4 wasn't as good as the Carter 3. I believe I get them mixed up because of the different songs and stuff.
That's your opinion?
That's my opinion.
Okay.
It wasn't as good. And, and then he started to step away and he was pushing out like Nicki Minaj. He was pushing out Drake. Yeah, because those were his artists. Hey. And then, but, for me, like watching Drake kind of slowly get into, being number one, and then the way he kind of stayed there, is the reason why I really like.
It's all good, but I like J. Cole. Okay. If you're going to say the big three,
J.
Cole's best. I like J. Cole best.
And Kendrick and Drake are tied for second.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Where we at?
All right. So we are moving into the O.J. Simpson.
Boy.
He passed away.
Yeah. R.I.P. to the Juice.
You said R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
Okay.
Yeah. Why? You don't think
I listen. A lot of people have been saying no rest in peace.
No, rest in peace, Nicole Brown. Yeah, R.I.P. to her. To them as well. It's unfortunate what happened to them, but still, All
right. Well, yeah, OJ, as you guys know, the famous football player, Orenthal James Simpson. He passed away, and it's brought up a lot of different things again. As you guys know, the famous case of him murdering his ex-wife at the time, and what was the other guy's name?
Ron Goldman?
Yes, Ron Goldman. And so it's brought up a lot of stuff. A lot of people have been talking about the case again. You kind of lived through this.
I think this is the longest trial ever. It was like 16 months.
Yeah.
That ever happened in the history of America, I believe.
Right.
Don't kill me in the comments if I'm wrong. But if you know that for sure, let us hear from you in the comments. If that's true or not. Come in the comments and correct if that is true.
They did say it's the trial of the century.
Yeah, I believe it was like 16 months. But like I said, hit us up in the comments. Let us know if that's true or not. But yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
How old were you when that was going on?
I wasn't born.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It was going on in June.
Maybe you shouldn't be talking about this.
I know. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about this.
Yeah. But go ahead. What you say was going on in June?
Yeah, it was happening in June '95 when the trial was happening, I think.
And you was born in what, November?
I was born in October.
October.
So yeah.
Dang.
I wasn't even born, literally. But yeah, it was an interesting, a lot of people have been bringing up the case, and as you know, it was an interesting time. A lot of black people felt like he didn't do it.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, oh yeah, he did do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a very famous case.
Yeah.
He famously got off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's been living his life for a few years now. And then he actually had another case.
Oh, yeah.
Where he actually went to jail because, they went after some people who had memorabilia of his, and it was like basically armed robbery. Mm-hmm. And so he went to jail for that. Apparently a few years ago he got out.
Yeah.
Because his family kind of argued he was older now, and basically got him out of prison, and he lived his life, and then he passed away.
Well, in criminal
cancer.
court he was found not guilty, but in civil court
Exactly.
he lost the case in the civil court. So
Yes,
he owed
and
the family money. I don't know if they got all the
no,
money.
the family only got like maybe $600,000 or $700,000 from them,
Okay.
and they're actually the estate of OJ is now trying to not pay them.
They trying to sue the
Yeah,
estate?
they're trying not to. No, the estate is trying to not pay.
Oh, not pay?
And so
I
not
wonder how
pay
much
the
the
35
estate is
million.
worth.
I don't know, man.
Because he wrote a book.
Actually, was it 200 million? I can't remember.
I know
exactly.
he wrote a book called "If I Did It." Did you read that book?
No, I did.
I didn't read it either.
I honestly, I didn't know much about the OJ case until
he passed.
No.
Oh.
I actually watched the documentary. What is it? Made in America, OJ. It was a 30 for 30, and I watched the TV show.
The People versus OJ.
The People versus OJ, which that's a great one.
Phenomenal.
Yeah,
phenomenal.
Sterling K. Brown.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I always thought that it was interesting and intrigued me that he was able to get off, and I always was like, man, I can't believe like black people stuck by him because, I mean, listen, OJ, he didn't really associate with black people.
No, he did not.
You know, I mean, he's famous for saying, I'm not black, I'm OJ, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he really wanted nothing to do with black people until, you know,
until he got ostracized by white people.
Exactly.
Yeah, we are the most forgiving race, man. We're the most forgiving, you know. And like you said, a lot of black people felt that he was innocent because we was always getting, you know, never getting fair trials. You can commit the same crime as a white person, and a black person would get a worser sentence than they would get. So I saw a documentary too, and they were saying they was feel like finally we got one, even though it was through OJ.
Yeah.
But they felt like they finally have somewhat of a redemption for black people, you know.
Yeah,
but then later on, as time passed and years later, 'cause I remember a few movies that came up and they were saying, yeah, OJ did it. Some black people felt OJ did it after a while, you know.
Yeah.
They felt he did it, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to realize, I mean, too, that case was not about whether he did it or not.
No.
The case was about,
definitely wasn't.
But everybody what had happened for years, and it's particularly in Los Angeles, you know, the black community with, you know, the violence that was, you know, perpetrated against them by the police department.
The corrupt police department, yeah.
And so when you look at the history of it, it's like, that's why I really like the OJ Made in America documentary, because it goes through all of that. They talk about even before the guy who got beat, Rodney King. Even before Rodney King, there were other times where people were, you know, basically murdered by the police department. I mean, I hate to say it, but
a
it's
lot
true.
of people in LA were saying that.
And so,
I mean, you from LA, and I heard they said the biggest gang is not the Bloods, it's the actual LA, the LAPD.
I'm not going to comment on that, but
that's what I've heard.
Yeah,
you know, that's what I heard. They said that's the biggest gang because they can, you know, pretty much kill with impunity. You know, they can get away with no retribution. They can get away with that's what I heard. Once again,
but yeah,
again, let us know in the comments if that's true or not.
Again, it was never about whether OJ was right or not, or had killed them or not. It was really just about the fact that black people had been basically sinned against so many times, and they weren't going to take it again. And the city did not want them to burn down the city like they did with the Rodney King. And they said, we ain't doing that again. And so they said, okay, we'll let him get off this time. And so I think that's kind of really the truth of the case. And it's unfortunate that it happened like that. Yeah. Because I personally believe that OJ did it. I mean, I no doubt.
Did you look at the evidence, or you formulated an opinion?
I'm just formulating an opinion off of the way he acted. He acted very strange afterwards. And to me, he acted more like a guilty person than an innocent person, you know? And so, and a lot of people were like, dang. And the fact that he had done domestic violence before against his wife. And a couple of times, I mean, like, they were talking about how he was holding a bat, and if the cops weren't there, like, who knows what would have happened?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think he kind of had rage. A lot of people say that it was CTE because, you know, he's a famous football player.
Yeah.
I mean, he played in the league for years, as well as, you know, college. He's famous for college, but
and for NFL too.
yeah, in the NFL as well.
Buffalo and
yeah. So, yeah, Buffalo. He even played for your 49ers.
Yeah,
you know, for a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting.
Yeah, it is, man. That is an unfortunate thing that happened. My thing is because people got to understand, and for a minute, I admit I was like, man, OG. Well, if he did it, he probably, you know, I admit I was like, I don't know. It just seemed like it's just too far-fetched for him not to have done it.
Right.
But ultimately, I don't know. I can just say an opinion. And then when you listen to certain facts, and then facts you maybe dispute that he didn't do it, then you listen to certain things that just say that maybe he did do it.
Yeah. It's very 50-50 on
that, right?
very
50-50. So who would truly know, you know what I mean?
I mean, his behavior was very strange. His behavior was very strange. When you think about him getting into a car, driving across the freeway, talking about how he's going to kill himself, and, you know, how, like, his finger was cut, and then the stuff on the Bronco, all that's a little fishy for an innocent person.
I know one thing. The lead defense attorney,
Shapiro.
No. He was not the lead defense attorney. It was the black guy. He died.
I know.
Johnny Cochran.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then he had Shapiro and he had Kardashian.
Well, you know, Shapiro was the lead at the beginning.
In the beginning, right. But then Johnny Cochran became the lead, right?
Right.
And one thing people got to realize, he was able. You got to prove without a reason, without a shadow of a doubt, and he was able to debunk everything. And he even, because, like, you didn't see the trial. It would come on TV.
Yeah.
And it stopped being about OJ. They started looking at Furman, the dirty cop caught rape. They started looking at Judge Ito. I think he was I think his name was Lance Ito or something. Then they started looking at other prosecutors. It's like everybody was on trial. Everybody was on. They started looking at everything in this one case. And but yeah, you got to be able to prove beyond reasonable doubt. And Johnny Cochran was able to debunk everything that they had. And plus, when you got a dirty cop in the mix too, you know, you're not going to get a conviction usually, you know. And everyone knows how the LAPD operate. But honestly, when I looked at the people versus OJ used to kick it with cops. Like you said, he was around majority nothing but white people. He wasn't really around his own people, outside his family. He may have had a few here and there, you know, but I didn't think cops would, you know, but they were saying Furman was racist.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was, even regardless of who he was, that he was with a white woman, you know, so.
He felt some type of way.
Yeah, he felt some type of way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that's why because, you know, a lot of people admit that there was planted evidence.
Yeah.
But they still think OJ did it. But that, like, you know, there was definitely evidence planted. I want to play this by Bob Costas, and then we can talk right after that.
You yourself believe that OJ, as you just said, without a doubt committed this killing?
Yes. We can hold multiple truths in our head at the same time, even if some of those truths at the time confused people who were inclined to view it through an emotional prism rather than a rational prism. It is simultaneously true that there's a long history of injustice by the justice system toward African Americans. And that continued well into the 1990s and to some extent continues today. And the Simpson situation was not long after the Rodney King situation with the beating caught on camera, and then those officers were acquitted. And there was a lot of tension, to put it mildly, between the African-American community and the LAPD. All those things are true. It's also true that Mark Fuhrman was a racist and lied about it, and then it was revealed that he used the N-word. It was also true, as a very skillful defense team was able to present, that some of the chain of custody on the evidence was mishandled. There were mistakes there. All those things can simultaneously be true, and it's also true that it's impossible to even postulate that anyone other than O.J. Simpson committed these crimes. The evidence, both circumstantial and hard evidence, is overwhelming, and there is no other explanation.
So yeah, that's what Bob Costas said. You know, I think it's definitely interesting. Oh, you know, one thing that happened?
What's that?
Apparently, OJ, when he was inside of the car, called Bob Costas.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. So he like called him, and apparently, like Bob was like on the air or something.
He wanted to give an interview,
and so he couldn't. And I think one of the interns like answered the phone, and so he couldn't like talk to OJ because the intern was like, "Oh, what? This ain't OJ. Come on now!" And he like hung up the phone on him. Apparently, that's what happened. And Bob Costas actually didn't know about it until he went and saw OJ in the jailhouse or whatever. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I called you."
But OJ never confessed anything to him. He
never confessed.
He's going based upon the evidence and whatever happened, right?
Yeah, okay. Bob Costas said that if he had known that he had called, he would have put him on the air and he would have asked him poignant questions. Like he would have got down to business of like, "Did you kill her?" Yeah,
but even with that, he wouldn't. Why would he admit that publicly?
Well, he might have.
No, I don't think
because he was in. Remember, he was in a different type of state at the time.
He was. Yeah, he was.
So
I don't think he would admit anything.
That's why they were running.
Yeah.
But
go ahead. What else you got?
But yeah. All right. So this is getting into conspiratorial, obviously, things. But there's also a video that went semi-viral on TikTok. Okay. Again, this is TikTok. This is not a credible source. You guys can go and look up these things. I personally believe that OJ did it, and I don't know what's yours. What's your final verdict on that?
I thought he did it. I mean, but then again, as 50-50.
All right. For those who don't think he did it, they probably have heard this video before. But this is Judge Joe Brown, who's the famous judge who comes on TV, and apparently it sounds like he was on Jesse Lee Peterson, his. I guess show.
We don't know how accredited this is.
Yeah, so this is not credible at all.
Judge Joe Brown going over facts of the case itself.
This is I don't know if these are facts.
Well, you listen and you formulate your own perspective.
Exactly. So this is what they had to say.
Did O.J. Simpson get away with murder?
No, I looked at all the evidence they had and talked to the experts. They never should have brought the charge against him. And 4 of the chief detectives that were involved in that OJ case wound up doing time in California for planting evidence. And as a matter of fact, if you saw the entire trial, there are several instances where evidence was planted and it's recorded on tape. The main reason the American public thinks she got away with something is because there was a sleaze known as Nancy Grace who's still around, and that was her first reporting thing. And she hyped that and put a lot of falsity out there, and the American public believed it because that was the only person they were hearing. I saw the entirety of the evidence. Nicole and Rod Goldman got their throats slit from ear to ear, their tongues pulled.
All right, I forgot to say this is graphic, just so you guys know. I'll continue.
Out of the slit with a pair of pliers. The fatal injury was a stab by a left-handed person. OJ was right-handed. It went in and it did that damage. There were no peripheral strikes. The footprints in the blood showed that somebody with a size 9 shoe, 9.5 shoe, and somebody with a size 9 and somebody with a 10.5 were there on the scene and did it. One of my late brothers actually was the expert the state was going to call until he refuted it. The glove man I know personally, the name is Richard Zuckerwar. He took a tracing of everybody's hand. It was a size large glove that fit Furman. And OJ had a 2XL, which was way too big. Johnny Cochran knew that. So if it does not fit, you must acquit. And you can see Furman actually plant the bloody socks on a video that the jury saw that Nancy Grace refused to talk about. The DNA evidence that condemned them, she said, if you saw what went on, and I recorded all of it and looked at it, the expert said, this doesn't exclude 96,000 people in the LA area, and the person that donated this is from the Northeast Mediterranean or from Sicily.
I got him. That's a.
You hear what he said?
From
Sicily.
Sicily.
So let me go back. He said that they were slit from ear to ear. I remember they saying they almost got decapitated. I never knew about the tongue being pulled through the neck, right? The mafia used to, that's a way they would kill. It's called the Colombian necktie, you know.
Which they brought that up, right?
Well, I never heard about that.
I think so in the trial.
In the trial? Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's like a hit. That means the person you talk too much, or they take your tongue, or that's what's called the Colombian necktie. And I know they would do, mafia people do that. But now he's saying that with the DNA evidence, someone from Sicily, so he making it sounds like it was Italian, you know, but I don't know. I mean, if that is the case, I don't know. I never remember them saying anything about that in the trial. Of course, I was young. I was younger at the time. But like I said, if OJ didn't do it, who did it and why? That's all it was trying to prove if OJ did it or not. Okay, if he was found not guilty, which he was, right? Then why not try to find who did it and why? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, well, like Bob Costas said, that, you know, that he could have been the only person, and that's what a lot of people were saying. But, you know, listen, there's a factor of other people who believe that he didn't do it, and it's it's kind of been proven that they've mishandled the evidence on that case, you know. So, I mean, I think it's up to other people to formulate, you know, their ideas, and I think we'll never really know the truth, because here, get this though, on OJ's deathbed, apparently he made the whole family sign NDAs. So I don't know what that means, but you know, I think he might have confessed, or at least told them who did it, because you know,
or if he did hire someone to do it, or
because a lot of people think that his son.
His son was on trial too. They said his son might have helped him, but then his son had a tight Trump alibi. So then his son was like, no, he was no longer a suspect. Yeah, I remember them saying that. There's no way this man could do this by himself. Right. He had to have help, you know. And they said, well, maybe his son, like he was saying, the size 9 shoes and the smaller gloves. Yeah. But the way Judge Joe Brown was sounding, it almost sounded like he was saying Furman might have did it. That's what it's leading to. So he said something about Italian or Sicily, then that's when it came back to the mafia style, that Colombian style of killing someone. So
that necktie.
Yeah, the Colombian necktie, what they call it. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, you guys let us know.
Yeah.
What did he do it? What is it true?
Yeah. Or is he innocent? Yeah. Let us know in the comments.
That'll be an interesting thing down there. All right. Getting into our last story, Katelin Clark. Okay, she was picked number 1 overall by the Indiana Fever.
Everyone knew she was
in the WNBA. Oh yeah, we knew she was going to go number 1. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, once they heard that, they are now outraged about her salary because she's only making $380,000 a year for 4 years. And you know, Katelin Clark, she really was making more money in the NIL, you know, than that. I think she made like $3 million last year. A little
over 3. She coming to the league almost about like 3.8.
Yeah.
So
she had
that salary. Ain't nothing. I mean, granted, she should. I think WNBA should make more money, but I
Yeah.
know she wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah, but everybody's in an uproar about that because, people are like, man, it should be equal. They should be making as much as the NBA players. Like, this isn't. Yeah, of course, we know that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know that the NBA subsidizes, which basically helps them pay for these salaries, helps the WNBA pay for these salaries because the WNBA doesn't have the revenue yet.
Right.
But I think somebody like Katelin Clark can bring that kind of revenue for them. But basically, this is an interview of her just kind of talking about Indiana and how she got drafted.
This might sound very small city of me, but it seems like a bigger Des Moines in a way, obviously a little bit bigger than Des Moines. So that's what I'm most excited about. I'm not a huge big city girl. So, I feel like this is a perfect spot for myself, a place that loves basketball. But more than anything, this is in the Midwest. People might think I'm crazy for wanting to stay in the Midwest, but that's just who I am. That's where my roots are. I love the people here. So I think that's what I'm most excited about of, having an opportunity to come to an organization like this and be in a place where there can be a lot of support for it and have a lot of people around me that I really love.
All right, so that's what she had to say about the small town aspect of it. Of course, we know she's going to get tons of money in these deals that she's going to get. In fact, she already got one through Nike, I believe, and it's a 8-figure deal. And so she's going to have her own shoe. Here's what I think about Katelin Clark. I think that she has the potential to be the Michael Jordan of the WNBA. In terms of no, listen, you're not even listening to what I'm saying. Of course, her game is Steph Curry. Okay, blah blah blah. We already know that. The Michael Jordan, when he came into the league, he made the league box office. Okay. Before that, I mean, listen, Bird and those guys, they did pretty good, but Michael Jordan took it to another level, and it was almost, again, it was almost like he was a religious figure. And so, in a way, Katelin Clark is coming into this now. I mean, the Fever now have 36 of their 37 games are going to be televised. They've already sold out a majority of their games because people want to go see her.
She's playing with Aaliyah Boston.
Yeah, and
Carolina, the number one draft pick last year from South Carolina Gamecocks.
Okay. So to me, she's box office, and she has the potential to be the Michael Jordan of the WNBA. In terms of money, okay, obviously her game is Steph Curry. She can't dunk, she can't fly, but, that's my thoughts on her.
I think it's a good thing because that brings more awareness to their sport. But not just, of course, everyone is Katelin Clark, but you got other phenomenal female players coming into the league too. Maybe not getting as much shine as she getting. Like you got Angel Reese and Camila Cardozo both going to Chicago, and I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with as well. You got Nika Mueller, she got drafted, and when she played for UConn, and she guarded Katelin well. In that first half of that game, she guarded her real well, But now I want to say something. You said, because I knew that Katelin was going to get a lot of endorsement deals. She already come into the league with a few mil under her belt. But people were saying, they said, is it fair or foul that Nike trends after it has been released that they signed Katelin Clark to an 8-figure shoe deal, but the best WNBA player, which is Audrey Wilson, former Carolina Gamecock, 2-time champion, 2-time MVP, doesn't have a Nike shoe deal. What do you think?
Listen, I don't even know who she is.
There's a statue of her at
great.
Carolina.
You know who she is only because you follow Carolina. My thing is that everybody knows who Katelin Clark is right now.
They know who Asia is.
Okay?
They know who Katelin Clark is right now.
And when Katelin Clark comes on TV, she is outnumbering in terms of ratings regular NBA games. So there was Boston. It was Boston versus Golden State, and she was getting better ratings than them. Okay, No disrespect to this girl from South Carolina, but I don't know who she is. Most people don't know who she is unless you follow women's basketball.
Did you follow before
which
this?
Most people don't follow women's basketball. Let's be honest.
Did you
Nobody
follow
really
before this?
Who?
Women's basketball. Did you follow?
Yeah, I've been a follower of women's basketball for years. I remember.
I really haven't.
I remember the days of Candace Parker and
I remember seeing them, but I
remember
really
Lisa
follow.
Leslie growing up in LA. I remember some of these other stars. You know, I remember a little bit of Maya Moore. I wasn't that into. Like there was a couple of other ones like back in the day, but bro, the regular people do not really watch women's basketball.
So you don't think
but
Aja Wilson gets a sneaker deal?
If you bring eyeballs to the game, okay, then you can get a deal. But if you ain't bringing eyeballs to the game, I wonder how many people were watching her games. Did you watch WNBA last year?
Dude, I've never really watched.
Okay,
I never really watched women's
That's
college
what I'm saying.
up until now.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe
Listen,
about 2 years, I started really watching women's.
And this is another
basketball.
thing on the WNBA. It's like people will watch the WNBA if you have stars and people that, you know, people can connect to that have a story and stuff like that. But, you know, for years, I feel like nobody's like dominating where we have to like, we're like, oh man, we got to watch the TV right now.
Yeah, Caitlin is that
and
factor.
Caitlin is
She's
that
the-
factor.
She is the it factor right
When
now.
I was watching her versus LSU, man, this year, I was like, man, she's unstoppable.
But LSU shut her down last year.
I know, but
She still had a good game. You
listen,
can't take that from her.
It looked like nobody could stop her.
Carolina.
And that's why to me she's more comparable to Jordan.
Somebody
for
could
the sport.
stop her. Her name is Raven Johnson, South Carolina guard.
Well, listen,
and she waved off.
I know,
last
but
year.
she still got 30. You know, y'all
against
acting
Carolina.
Yeah, this year, right? What are you talking about? Last year?
No, last year she
Last
had like
year
41.
they beat them. Yeah. So
what Aaliyah boss?
That's what I'm saying. That's
but
what I'm
this
saying.
year she didn't get that. She didn't get that this year.
She got 30
this year.
Yes.
No,
bro, go look it up. Now, I'll give that girl credit because Katelin got 18 of that 30 in the first quarter. But
against Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah,
Did you not watch the game?
No, I watched the game. No, I'm saying she got 30 points.
This man really don't watch women's basketball, okay?
I watched that game. Hold on, let me look at the.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you. Nah, you don't even have to look it up. I already know, dog. She got like 31.
Pull it up. Let me see.
Nah, I already know.
See, 'cause you lying.
I already know.
Lying,
she still put up 30, even though that girl, they were like, oh yeah, she shut her down. It's like Katelin Clark probably just ran out of steam. But anyways.
Yeah.
She's box office.
75. Let me see. Katelin Clark stats. 40
come
minutes,
on, man. I already told
30
you.
30 points, 5 assists, 8
Look at this
rebounds.
guy.
But it still wasn't enough.
Okay. Yes, I agree.
You know
with that.
why? Because that's one woman playing against a whole team. That's what I like about Carolina.
All I'm saying is she's box office. All I'm saying is that
She
she gonna
is.
change the game. All I'm saying is that she is gonna make me watch women's WNBA basketball.
Yeah, definitely.
I might even buy some tickets because
She
I'm gonna tell you
helped-
right now. And by the way, we have friends who can refute me, friends who don't believe in what I say, but like, I will watch the WNBA over the NBA because the NBA has fallen off. We got all these diva players in the NBA who don't do nothing, who are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna rest. And it's like, bro, you won't see me buy another NBA ticket unless they change that, because you could be going to a game where you're like, oh shoot, it's the Lakers versus the Suns.
Mm-hmm.
And guess who's on the bench? In street clothes.
Who didn't show
AD.
up?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Guess who's load management? Load management. AD, LeBron. All these people are on the bench, and you're watching a game where there's like maybe one person that's like kind of starish, but you spent your money, your hard-earned money, to go see that game, and these people are sitting down. That's what I'm saying. That's why I won't watch the NBA no more.
I think
I ain't with these diva, stars who just want to sit out these games and want to, oh yeah, I'm Hollywood. It's like, okay, bro, I ain't gonna watch your game. I'd rather watch Angel Reese. I'd rather watch Katelin Clark than watch the NBA with these stars who are divas.
Yeah. With this class that came out, the WNBA is definitely going to be, and not even
The
just
NBA is
WNBA.
acting like they WNBA. I need to sit out this game.
Well, not just WNBA, even women's college basketball. They got more ratings than men's college basketball.
Oh,
I
yeah.
never used to watch women's college basketball. I
That's
don't
what I'm
ever
saying.
remember seeing it being televised like that back in the day. Of the Tar Heels, the Georgia Techs, the Maryland Terrapins, the Gonzagas, and Wake Forest. That's what we used to watch. See who making it to the Sweet 16, the Final Four, and championship. But man, women college basketball, man, is totally. They changed the game. They totally changed the game, man.
They definitely did.
Totally changed the game, man. But you know what? Hey, real quick, I know we about to wrap up, but I definitely got a segue in this since we on the NBA. Have you heard about the lifetime ban on Jontay Porter for gambling? Right. So let me read real quick.
Speak the facts on that first.
But the NBA says Jontay Porter banned from NBA for violating league's gaming rules. It says on New York, April 17, 2024, the NBA announced today that Jontay Porter, a two-way player recently under contract with Toronto Raptors, has been banned from the NBA. A league investigation found that Porter violated league rules by disclosing confidential information to sports bettors, limiting his own participation in one or more games for being purpose and betting on NBA games. So some games he was literally betting. He was lowering his own stats.
Damn.
And betting. They said he even bet against his own team. And he might have made I think they said something like maybe 21,000 or some bet.
Stupid.
But his contracts was for millions and millions of dollars.
So stupid.
Do you think he has a problem with gambling at that when you get to that point?
Probably. A lot of people had allegations against Jordan doing that too.
But that's in Vegas.
But
that's not on the league itself.
Yeah, I know.
That's Vegas.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's just really stupid. The fact that he only made that much money, but was trying to gamble on stuff. I don't know how much he was worth, how much money he had. But
a couple of mil.
Yeah, it sounds like he had a little bit of a problem if you go to that degree. But also, it makes you wonder about some of these other players. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I wonder if that's why the league won't put a league in because they played that tournament that what they call it, the in-season tournament. They played that in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I think that was some of the skepticism about as far as their gambling, because Vegas is the gambling capital, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's to some degree why they don't really want to put a
team in
Vegas. No. But they're on. You can bet on games. You can bet on games.
Yeah.
You
just can't do that
over,
as
under,
a player.
Not as a player.
That's a conflict of interest.
Yeah. That's like insider trading.
Yeah, exactly.
If you know a company's going to fold and all of a sudden you pull out, or they about to sell and you sell your stocks, or you buy because they about to sell. That's like what Martha Stewart, insider trading.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't do that. But I wonder if that's one of the reasons why they won't have a league. 'Cause you would think they would have a league in Vegas.
Yeah, I just I can't believe that he did that. And I mean, I don't really know who the dude is, so I couldn't tell you.
For the Raptors?
Yeah, I don't know anything.
Drake know he is. Toronto.
Does he?
Yeah, Toronto.
Oh, okay.
What Drake got to say about that, Drake? Drake, hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you think. Aubrey. Come on now. Hit us up.
Come on, man. I'm a big fan of yours.
Come on, Champagne Poppy.
Oh my.
OVO. That's his Instagram.
I know.
Yeah, I know you know. I know you follow him. You probably like every post he put up.
No, I don't actually. Listen, I just like the man and his fight with these people, because people have been coming at him, and he's just been showing up with another hit after another hit.
I think this is a good thing for hip hop.
Yeah.
Showing their skills. I mean, I guess don't let it get too personal per se.
Well, it's kind of personal.
I know, man. If they can kind of keep kids out of it, and which I heard you right, it did get. But I wouldn't want to cross that threshold. Because sometimes there ain't no coming back from certain things. So, I wouldn't want to.
Let's not repeat the 90s. All right.
Yeah.
That's the Black Summit.
That's the Black Summit, man.
We out.
We out.
Peace.